하겠습니다. 한국어는 채널 넘버 1입니다. 그리고 영어는 2번 채널. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start this opening ceremony soon. So please have a seat. 장내에 계신 분들은 이제 행사를 시작하겠습니다. 자리에 앉아 주시기 바랍니다. 이제 인사는 차후에 좀 해주시면 좋겠고요. 이제 행사를 시작해야 될 시간입니다.
We are going to begin
자리에 곧
our
앉아 주시기
morning
바랍니다.
session now. Please be seated.
우리 안내 스텝 되시는 분들은요. 우리 ILC들을 좀 인도해 주시면 좋겠습니다. 자리에 앉을 수 있도록.
Ushers, please usher the YCS members to the hall. We are going to begin shortly.
존경하는 세계 지도자 그리고 평화를 사랑하는 내외
Respected world leaders and distinguished guests who cherish peace.
2024 개회식 사회를 맡은 UPM
I am
신통일정책연구소장
Min Sang-pil, Director of the Institute for Heavenly Unification Policy and Master of Ceremony for today's ILC 2024 opening ceremony.
반갑습니다.
It's
매년
a really
세계
good pleasure to meet all of you.
월 서밋의 기반 위에 올해는
Building upon the legacy of the annual World Summit, ILC 2024 is meticulously organized as an international leadership seminar aimed at fostering peace and unification on the Korean Peninsula.
세계 평화 실현을 위해
This year's theme,
문선명
Religious Harmony and Peaceful Unification of Korean Peninsula, is explored with the participation of esteemed global religious leaders. For this year's ILC, which commemorates the 64th anniversary of the holy marriage of Reverend Min Sang-myeon and Dr. Jeong, dedicated to the cause of Korean unification and global peace, numerous leaders have joined us. We sincerely welcome all of you who actively join us today as sentinels safeguarding peace and as builders forging a new era, transcending borders and barriers toward a world of enduring peace. I invite you to join me in a warm round of applause to welcome each other. Let us greet each other. Let me introduce religious leaders who are joining us today. I'd like to ask you to give them a warm round of applause to welcome them. Reverend Venerable Sangjin, the General Secretary of Taego Order of Korean Buddhism, is with us today. Munyana, the Director of Sunwon Academy, has graced us with her presence. Yang Chang-sik, President of UPF International today's host, is with us today. Yongchun Song, President of FFWPU International, is with us today. Sanjo, Chairman Sanjo is with us today, who is going to give us the keynote address. Eknafal, member of the Parliament for Nepal, is present. He represents the Asia-Pacific region for UPF and International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. Johannes Andanga from Africa is with us today. Archbishop Jonas Andanga. Vice President Jeong and other leaders are with us today as well. Chairman Lee Hyun-young of the Korea Religious Association is with us today. Young-sun Choi is the chairman, is with us today. And other many religious leaders are here with us today. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. Let me introduce more foreign participants. Michael Jenkins, chairman of the World UPF International. Japan International is with us. Anama, UPF chairman, is with us today. Chairman Kim Gi-yoon of WCLC is with us today. Would you please welcome him with a big round of applause? Leaders from PCLC are with us today. Would you please welcome them with a big round of applause? There are all chairmen from all the continental representatives are with us today as well. We have many participants from the United States are with us. Damian Denkley, Regional President of the Family Federation of World Peace and Unification of North America is with us today. John Jackson, co-chairman of ACLC, and all the pastors from ACLC are with us. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. ACLC pastors are all with us today. Also, please let us welcome them with a big round of applause. Once again, please join me in applauding all the leaders, participants who have shared their well wishes for the success of this event. Now we are going to start the ILC 2024 with a big round of applause. First, we'll watch a commemorative video that introduces the background and significance of today's meaningful event.
What is peace? Humankind has never before faced the challenges we face today. Environmental issues and climate change demand a worldwide economic paradigm shift, while tensions and crises continue to rise amidst the new economic Cold War and a nationalistic structure. How then can we make the peace we dream of a reality? Universal Peace Federation is an NGO in general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. Since its founding in 2005, it's created a platform together with the UN to solve today's problems on the world level through its vision for peace, interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values. Transnational cooperation has brought about the vision for good governance, which actively searches for solutions to the global epidemic of suffering, conflict, poverty, inequality, starvation, and environmental problems. Co-founder of Universal Peace Federation, Dr. Hakja Han-moon, spearheaded the visions for a heavenly unified Korea and a heavenly unified world to overcome the Cold War system throughout Northeast Asia by establishing sustainable peace on the Korean Peninsula. Furthermore, Dr. Moon champions that righteous people of peace should unite around a common purpose to overcome our global crisis together through additional peace summits on regional levels, especially to foster dialogue and harmony among religions. Here in Korea, ambassadors for peace are being appointed in each city and become vital contributors to the growth of UPF's peace initiatives. UPF is developing peace academies all over the country. Heavenly Korea forums are held regularly to discuss the hot issues of the day that our society faces. UPF also invites all its people to sympathize and take part in the DMZ Peace Park project, and request that the 5th UN office be established on the peninsula.
나와 함께 이 역사적이고 섭리적인 축복의 대열에 함께 손에 손을 잡고 인류 평화, 하늘 부모님 아래 인류 한 가족의 꿈을 실현하는 우리 모두가 되기를 축원합니다.
We can paint the future of a unified Korea as the number of those who share our vision increase. 105 years ago, the faithful people of Korea united across religious differences to join the fight for the liberty. Now is the time for us to rise and unite again for peace and unification between North and South Korea. This is the age in which we realize a heavenly unified Korea, the ideal of peace through interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values. Let's build that dream together. Join Universal Peace Federation, a global network for peace on the Korean Peninsula.
이 시간은 ILC
Now
대회사의 문을 여는
proceed.
대회사의 순서입니다. 본 행사를 주관하는 UPF 양창식 세계의장께서 나오셔서 대회사를 전해 주시겠습니다. 여러분, 양창식 세계의장을 큰 환영의
Please welcome
박수로
Chang-Sik Yang, Chairman Chang-Sik Yang, with a big round of applause. He will deliver the opening remarks of ILC 2024.
Your Excellencies, Ambassadors for Peace, ladies and gentlemen, the World Christian Leadership Conference, Pacific Clergy Leadership Conference, American Clergy Leadership Conference, and Korean Clergy Leadership Conference members, peace-loving leaders from around the world. Good morning. 안녕하십니까? Peace, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings from Korea. I sincerely welcome all of you to ILC 2024. It's on the theme of religious harmony and peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. This conference commemorates the 64th anniversary of the holy wedding of Reverend Dr. Sun Myung-moon and Dr. Hak Ja-han-moon, known as true parents and co-founders of Universal Peace Federation, who have dedicated their lives to the reunification of Korean Peninsula and the realization of a world of lasting peace. In reality, the world today is far from peaceful, despite the material abundance achieved through the rapid development of science and technology. We are facing a collapse of values and the breakdown of the international order, leading to wars and conflicts. Father and Mother Moon, who founded UPF in 2005, early on presented the interreligious and international concepts of interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universally valued shares. As a vision for a world of lasting peace, they have advocated that the fundamental solution to humanity's unfortunate history of division and conflict is to understand the will and absolute value of God, the parent of humankind, that is our heavenly parent. They revealed the vision and the secret of peace. Furthermore, Father Moon revealed that the starting point of a world of permanent peace is the reunification of the Korean Peninsula, which has remained divided for nearly 80 years. The significance of the division and unification of Korean Peninsula, dear peace leaders and clergy, the reality of the divided Korean Peninsula is not a problem confined to the Korean people alone. The background of the division between North and South Korea lies in the ideological confrontation that has plagued human development since ancient times. The opposing philosophies of Hebraism, which is theistic, and Hellenism, which is humanistic, evolved over time into democracy and communism, leading to the ideological confrontation of the Cold War and culminating on the Korean Peninsula as their final battleground. The people of North and South Korea are in conflict because of political and ideological divisions. If a new vision of coexistence and harmony emerges here, it can serve as the key to social integration, a model for a unified world, and a starting point for true peace. Thus, the unification of Korean Peninsula is a global issue, symbolizing the unification of the communist and democratic worlds, the end of Cold War, and the gateway to permanent peace, transcending ideology, religion, race, and culture. Unification of North and South Korea is humanity's destiny. This is the core of Father Moon's peace movement, which began here on the Korean Peninsula. He realized that there could be no world peace without the unification of North and South Korea. This was the course of destiny that could not be abandoned or avoided. Because of Father and Mother Moon lived with such a heart. When they beat North Korea in 1991, he was able to speak boldly at a meeting with North Korean officials, despite the tense atmosphere, and pointed out the problems with Kim Il-sung's Juche ideology. He explained to them that Godism is the only alternative that could unite North and South Korea. Father Moon's declaration before top leaders in North Korea, who represent the pinnacle of the communist camp, was derived from his lifetime commitment to striving for a world of peace centered on God. With such determination and resolve, Father and Mother Moon have developed this movement by joining forces with numerous leaders in the political, economic, religious, social, cultural, and educational fields. Global Foundation for Unification and Peace. Resolving the situation on the Korean Peninsula requires an international foundation. The United Nations, with each member's different interests, could not provide this. So Father and Mother Moon founded the Universal Peace Federation in 2005 with the purpose of uniting world leaders and opinion leaders who share the vision of one human family under one God. Since 2006, UPF has held annual meetings known as the World Summit, as well as international leadership conferences, where leaders from diverse fields come together to seek peaceful solutions to major issues. At these meetings, important resolutions have been adopted and proclaimed. World Summit 2020, commemorating the 100th years anniversary of the birth of Reverend Dr. Sun Myung Moon, was the culmination of a series of national and continental summits. Over 1,200 leaders attended, including 120 current and former heads of state, and signed a resolution declaring their support for a world of permanent peace, including the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. They also came up with a blueprint to bring this about. After this, UPF published in-depth research on the economy of interdependence, the politics of mutual prosperity, and the ethics of universally shared values, including resolutions and action plans to advance harmony and prosperity. Dear leaders, after the passing of Father Moon in 2012, Mother Moon took full responsibility for leading and expanding this worldwide movement. As the Mother of Peace, she traveled 5 oceans and 6 continents, from east to west and north to south, walking the path of sacrifice to embrace the world and unite humanity. She endured tremendous risk and physical challenges, but never slowed down or looked back. No matter how difficult the path toward peace, she continued single-mindedly to keep the promise she made to Father Moon, pledging she will achieve their shared dream. Ladies and gentlemen, let us express our sincere gratitude to Father in heaven and Mother on earth, the true parent, with a big round of applause. Thank you. The vision and the purpose of ILC 2024. The next year, 2025, will mark 80 years since the liberation of Korea by the end of World War II. However, true liberation will be the day that North and South Korea achieve peaceful reunification. We can sense the powerful pull of destiny toward that point. Perhaps the door to unification will open suddenly like a bolt of lightning, as happened with the fall of the Berlin Wall. Still, unification is not something we can just wait for. We must ardently desire it and work toward. During Korea's independent movement, the March 1st of 1919, it was religious leaders of different faiths who came together and took the lead. Now it is a time for religious leaders once again to take the initiative in the unification movement toward realizing the vision of a unified Korea and the world. Amen? Amen. Once again, I sincerely thank to all of you for opening this great meeting. Now we'd like to share the vision of a unified Korea through great speakers. I hope this will inspire everyone here to take up the challenge and determine to work together to make our vision a reality. And thank you very much, and may God bless you.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
귀한 대사를 해주신 양창식
Please
위원장님.
join me in giving another round of applause to Chairman Jeong for his gracious welcoming address. Next, we'll proceed with a series of congratulatory speeches. Next, we'll hear a congratulatory message from Bishop Edward Barnett from the American Clergy Leadership Conference. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Shalom. Namaste. Shanti. Allah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. We're here. Can you give a good hand? This is a unique moment. It is very significant historically. This is a moment that's changing the world even while we sit. In this room is the answer for the world's demise. In this room are dedicated spiritual leaders who have given blood, sweat, and tears and given their energies to support a divine destiny and vision given by Mother Moon. And you should be congratulated. So once again, let's congratulate one another. I am just a part of a large spiritual, powerful delegation that traveled here from the United States. And there are many others who have traveled from all around the world to be here so that this moment wouldn't be missed. We've come to bring spiritual significance to the ILC, the International Leadership Conference for this year. Our goal is that we will change the world from this point on together. But we're also here to commemorate the 64th wedding anniversary of Dr. Sun Myung Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. They have demonstrated divine relationship, true love, and a path forward for all who want to succeed in peace. Jesus anointed Father and Mother Moon to be true parents so that they could help unify the body of Christ and to bring the grace of Jesus Christ to every family so that all families would experience 3 powerful points. In the World Conference of 2020, Mother Moon shared with the entire body 3 points. Number 1, interdependence. That means everyone coming together, working in the spirit of unity. Number 2, prosperity and mutual success. Prosperity and mutual success is part of the plan. And number 3, universal values, that no one will be left behind. Now, as nervous as I am, I would emphatically like to state that we all should and can embrace under the dynamic leadership that has been set forth for us through true parents, Father and Mother Moon. This is not a task that's too big for us. We are well able, if we work together, stay together, in unity. As I take my seat, I would like to thank Dr. Jeong, the chairman of UPF. I would like to thank ACLC and WCLC and KCLC, all for joining together as one and supporting and making sure that we continue to propagate peace around the world by the vision of Mother and Father Moon. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you. 감동적인 축사를 해주신 에드워드 바넷 주교께 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Please welcome him with a big round of warm applause. Thank you. Next, we will invite Venerable Sangjin, the head of Taegyo Order of Korean Buddhism, will come up to the stage and deliver his congratulatory speech. So please give him a big round of warm applause. I'm very delighted to see you all, my esteemed religious leaders around the world. Today, I'm honored to be at this important occasion where global peace and peace on the Korean Peninsula are discussed. I am also one of the religious leaders walking the path of peace and unification. So it is a privilege to share the vision for religious harmony and unification of the Korean Peninsula at this ILC 2024. We are at a critical juncture, not only for the Republic of Korea, but also for the entire world. We must now share the desire for a new and heavenly unified Korea and heavenly unified world, and seek together a path of interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universally shared values. In June 2019, I was humbled to attend the IAPD International Seminar in the United States and spoke on behalf of Korean Buddhism. I said, war, hunger, conflict, murder, strife, confrontation, discord among countries around the world were not created by God, but by the stubbornness of humans, causing social tribulations. That's what I pointed out. The world we live in now is riddled with excessive egoism and individualism, where evil laws are promoted rather than just fair laws, and human fundamentals are being now eroded. As a result, values have been upside down, thrown out for a long time. Human dignity, morals, humanity have been swept away and corrupted. And I said, these problems are not what God intended, but God cannot solve them. I went on saying that the problems of a human society must be resolved by humans, and religious faith can guide us in solving these problems. The late Reverend Sun Myung-moon and President Hak Ja-han Moon have dedicated their whole lives to a singular cause, which is peace and unification. They were stubborn in walking a path no one else had taken before, and take one path without distraction, even in the face of severe persecution and trials. I believe that peace and unification of the Korean Peninsula have become the mission of our times, thanks to the faith and practice of President Moon and President Han. For realization of what they promoted, religious harmony and national unity are quintessential. From a Buddhist perspective, we have a teaching that all beings are the one. Based upon this teaching, we must understand, respect each other, and move toward the peaceful Korean Peninsula. There is ultimately only one path leading to the ultimate, to the unification. And the path to all religions are embarking on is also one. Peace and unification of the Korean Peninsula embody the deep-rooted history and spirit of Korea. We will advance toward a world of permanent peace afterward. I was told that April 24th is the auspicious day since it marks the 64th anniversary of the holy wedding of Reverend Sun Myung-moon and Reverend Hak Ja-han. They receive a call from heaven to tie their knots. It must have been more than auspicious. After their holy union, they made considerable achievement while enduring difficult times. The achievement will now become the driving force, ushering in the era of a new unified Korea, creating a spark of hope. The path could be arduous and long-winded, but our religious people will walk side by side, to lighten up the sky of the Korean Peninsula in the future. I sincerely congratulate you on your wedding anniversary. Thank you.
It was indeed a congratulatory address. Please join me once again in applauding Venerable Sangjin for his well wishes towards the success of today's event. Next, we are going to hear a congratulatory remark from Mr. Jeong Chun-son, President of the Family Federation of World Peace and Unification International. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. Respected world leaders and distinguished guests from home and abroad, today I am infinitely honored to deliver a congratulatory speech at the opening ceremony of the ILC 2024 General Conference organized by the Universal Peace Federation, commemorating the 64th anniversary of the Heavenly Parents' Holy Wedding. In particular, I sincerely thank those who have shown great consideration and interest to make this meaningful conference possible despite their busy schedules. Venerable Sangjin, General Secretary of Taego Order of Korean Buddhism, Bishop Manet, and Archbishop Johannes Andanga, and Eknath Nakat, the Member of Parliament from Nepal, and Hwang Sanjo, the Chairman of the National Coalition for the Unification of North and South Korea. My special thanks go to Young Chang-sik, Chairman of the Universal Peace Federation International, respected world leaders. Currently, the global community confronts grave challenges that jeopardize human survival. Worldwide, there looms the constant threat of war and terrorism, compounded by food and energy crisis, religious disputes, and territorial conflicts that drive intense nationalism. Currently, there is a shift towards materialism, emphasizing economic gains over fundamental human values and spiritual integrity. As the world confronts a profound spiritual emptiness and existential despair, we find ourselves in an era of drastic transformation unable to foresee what lies ahead. Despite our outreach at the crumbling values and loss of morality evident today, solutions remain elusive. Throughout human history, countless individuals have striven for peace and prosperity for humanity, yet a truly peaceful world remains distant. Despite prolonged efforts, why have we not yet achieved a world of true peace, order, and mutual prosperity? We face the harsh reality of slogans without action, unable to transform our lives through spirituality and divinity. Honorable religious leaders from home and abroad, why are we gathered here today? Now more than ever, the role and mission of religious leaders are crucial. Our world, marred by human arrogance and violence, has reached a tipping point. Heaven is issuing a warning. The complex problems we face globally are beyond our solution. We live in an area desperately needing a shift toward a new religious paradigm that starts with true peace from within, overflowing genuine happiness in our homes, and is anchored in the universal values and spirituality pursued by religions. In this light, this conference holds profound significance. The themes discussed here, the role of religion in advancing interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal value for peace and unification of the Korean Peninsula, will provide a vision, values for a sustainable earth, offering humanity a path to respect and harmony amidst a world sustained by hegemonic conflicts. Honorable leaders and distinguished guests from home and abroad, the co-founders of the Universal Peace Federation, Hak Han, the Mother of Humanity, has provided a vision and approach toward sustainable international peace. She stated that Asian cultures would play a central role in upholding the values of the world peace for future generations. Historically, Asia, having passed through what is known as the axial age, has profoundly influenced human spiritual civilization through its religions, philosophies, and cultures. The religious and cultural foundations laid during the axial age are bearing fruits in today's new Asia-Pacific civilization era, advancing toward an Asia-Pacific Union. This marks the end of an era dominated by economic and military power struggles. We must move beyond the history of rivalry, conflict, and strife toward a world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness. It is now time for religious leaders to lead the way, promoting interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal value, merging all religions, races, and ideologies into a unified world of peace. I earnestly implore you not to ignore heaven's blessings and to heed this call. Respectable leaders from home and abroad, I ask for your experience, insight, and profound advice to help the ILC conference pave the way for a more peaceful future and peace in the Korean Peninsula. I sincerely hope this conference will serve as the light and salt that provides a vision towards the peaceful world all humanity yearns for. May the grace and protection of Heavenly Parent be with all the present here, your families and nations. Thank you very much.
There was really hopeful vision indeed. Now the last congratulatory speech will be delivered by Damian Dinkley. the FFWPU Regional President of North Korea. Please welcome him with a big hand.
Well, well, well. Heaven has brought us together, so let's give heaven a big round of applause and congratulations. God brought great speakers and leaders to guide our minds and our bodies towards the realization of a heavenly unified Korea and a heavenly unified world. Isn't that right? Let's give it up. Honestly, I feel like the most important things have already been said. So how about we have some fun? So, who likes music? Only half of you. So it seems like the back of the room really likes music. How about the front of the room? Do you like music? So, if you will, just close your eyes. Everybody close our eyes. And I want you to imagine your favorite note. Think of all the notes and sing your favorite note in your head quietly. Just imagine that note and sing it to yourself. Okay, now open your eyes, and on 3, I want everybody to sing your note together. Are you ready? 1, 2, loudly. 3. Well, you're singing, but that's not music. So, don't worry, God sends his conductors, isn't that right? So, please allow me, I'm going to divide the room into 3. 1, 2, in the middle, and 3. So over here, we're going to sing a note, but I'll guide you, okay? So, That sounds beautiful. How about in the middle? Would you like to sing a note? So, You remember your note? Middle? Pretty good. Let's give you guys a round of applause. So number 3, again. Okay. One of you guys is out of tune, but the rest of the room sounds great. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. God sends his conductors. Isn't that right? So I want to tell you a story. Yesterday, we have 420 young Americans, and we went on a field trip to the Eastern Sea. We wanted to see the east side of Korea. Because the group is so large, we have 12 buses. And so, in order to organize well, we sent the first 6 buses to the sea, and the second 6 buses to the mountain. And then we met for lunch, and the second group then went to the sea, and the first group went on the mountain. And we went to the sea to play sports on the beach. Did you enjoy it, guys? So in order to play sports, we needed balls and toys, and these were loaded onto the bus. And so the first all 12 buses left this complex and made their way east. 6 for the coast and 6 for the mountains. And then halfway there, our leadership realized that the buses were going the wrong direction. The bus conductor, the bus captain, the company had a better idea, and they decided to send the first set of buses to the mountain instead of to the beach, and the second ones to the beach instead of the mountain. That would be fine, but the problem was the buses going to the beach didn't have any balls and toys to play sports with. Now, they're professionals. They know how to safely drive hundreds of people around the country. But their idea didn't work. Even though we were very clear what we needed them to do, they chose according to their own idea, their own note, which may sound good in their own mind, but actually it created a lot of logistical problems for our 420 youth. But we figured out how to solve the problem, and we got to the beach, and we got to the mountains, and we had a wonderful time, right? God sends his conductors. And if we listen to God's conductor, the music will sound beautiful. Everybody can sing, but if we all sing according to our own ideas, we will not sing in harmony. So if it's true that Korea is the final battleground, the final battle for peace, do you want to see peace on the Korean Peninsula? Do you believe that if we can bring peace on the Korean Peninsula, we can multiply that and spread that out to the world? Do you believe so? Then, who would God send as his conductor? I believe that true parents who establish the standard of true parents by working beyond race, religion, creed, nationality, social, economic divides, political divides, bringing the world together as one family. Who else? And right now we are living in the time with Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon, the mother of peace, God's first daughter in whom he is well pleased. And if we unite with this conductor, we will be able to bring about peace on the Korean Peninsula and throughout the world. Amen? Amen. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
감사합니다. 힘찬 에너지가 느껴지는 축사였습니다.
It was really inspiring congratulatory remarks. Please join me in congratulating, in extending a big round of applause for these 4 speakers. Next, we have prepared the congratulatory messages from leaders on video who could not be present here, but have sent their best wishes for the success of ILC 2024.
Dear Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon, the Mother of Peace, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Africa, commemorating the 64th anniversary of the True Parents Holy Wedding and the 2024 HJ Cosmic Blessing Ceremony.
Queridos amigos desde Asunción, Paraguay, desde el mismo corazón de América del Sur, para nosotros que es el matrimonio, la vida, la unión de 2 personas.
This is former Philippine President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo sending greetings of peace and goodwill to the organizers and participants of the Universal Peace Federation's Peace Summit in 2024. May all the attendees of these joint events always keep in mind what the founders of this peace movement advocated, that world peace and prosperity are achieved through religious harmony, the embrace of diverse cultures and traditions of countries throughout the world, and good and strong family ties.
I extend my heartfelt congratulations on this ILC 2024 focus on religious harmony and peaceful unification of Korean Peninsula. These events symbolize your dedications to world peace, religious harmony and family values, leaving a profound impact on humanity's journey towards unity and prosperity.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Soy Salvador Nasralla, vicepresidente de la República de Honduras, y estoy junto a mi esposa Hiroshka Elvir de Nasralla, que es diputada del Congreso Nacional.
Queremos aprovechar esta ocasión para felicitar el aniversario de bodas de la doctora Hak Ja-han-moon por cumplir 64 años desde que tomó esa gran decisión de conformar una familia junto al doctor Moon.
Nos da mucho gusto que en este grupo, en esta organización tan importante, se esté conmemorando como una renovación de los valores que los llevaron a contraer nupcias hace 64 años.
En esta nueva Convención Mundial para la Paz de la Federación que dirige la señora Moon, quiero hacerle llegar a ella un afectuoso saludo.
When you and your late husband, the Reverend Moon, set out on creating the Universal Peace Federation, you initiated a movement that has now become not only worldwide, but unstoppable in search of peace. And there are so many aspects to it. You have been an inspiration to everybody who comes into contact with you. You speak regularly around the world. You have inspired a whole generation of women to find their own voice.
At a time like this, when the world is facing so many crises, it is especially important that the values of the family be strengthened and indeed celebrated as the foundation for stable and peaceful societies. Your lifelong dedication to these values will always be remembered.
축하합니다. 더불어민주당 정동영입니다. 한반도 평화에는 길이 필요하고 통일에는 과정이 필요합니다. 이번 ILC 국제 지도자 회의가 평화의 길을 잇고 통일의 과정을 시작하는 밑거름이 되기를 희망합니다.
안녕하세요. 윤상현 의원입니다. 전 세계 국가 지도자들이 모여 평화 번영을 논의한 뜻깊은 ILC 2024 개최를 진실 축하드립니다. 또 본 행사가 한국에서 개최될 수 있도록 힘써주신 한학재 총재를 비롯한 관계자 여러분들께 또 경의를 표합니다. 본 행사가 세계 평화로 나아가는 귀중한 발걸음이 되길 진심으로 기원합니다.
부산 금정구 국회의원 백종원입니다. 오늘 국제 지도자 회의인 ILC 2024의 개회를 진심으로 축하드리며 참석하신 모든 분께 환영의 인사를 보내드립니다. 이번 행사를 통해 한반도의 평화 통일을 위한 힘이 하나로 모여지길 기대합니다.
안녕하십니까. 군포시 국회의원 이하경입니다. 특별히 이 같은 국제적인 행사를 한국에서 현재 한반도가 참 중요한 시점에 개최할 수 있도록 해주신 한학자 총재님께도 감사의 마음을 전해드립니다. 세계 각국의 지도자와 종단의 성직자들이 함께 모여 종교 화합과 한반도 평화 통일이라는 주제를 갖는 이번 ILC 2024는 이번 행사를 통해서 한반도의 평화와 통일을 위한 강력한 힘이 일어나길 기대합니다.
안녕하십니까. 최춘식 국회의원입니다. 평화세계 실현과 한반도 통일을 위한 선구자의 길을 걸어오신 문선명 한학자 총재님 양해분의 성원을 진심으로 축하드립니다. 한반도의 통일과 평화세계를 이루기 위해 평생을 살아오신 총재님 양해분의 삶은 진정 우리가 모두 기억해야 할 위대한 생애임을 알게 됩니다.
안녕하십니까. 대한민국 시장 군수 구청장 협의회 대표 회장을 맡고 있는 대구 남구청장 조재구입니다. 신통일 한국과 신통일 세계를 실현하기 위해 수고해 오신 것에 깊은 감동과 감사의 말씀을 전해드립니다.
즐거운 변화로 더 행복한 구리시를 만들어가는 구리시장 백경현입니다. 오늘 국제 지도자 회의인 ILC 2024 개최를 진심으로 축하드리며 한반도를 둘러싼 대내외 정세 속에서 세계 각국의 지도자와 성직자들이 함께 모여 종교 화합과 한반도 평화 통일이라는 주제로 열리는 이번 행사가 매우 의미 있는 행사가 될 것입니다.
군포시의회 이길호 의장입니다. 가족 공동체 실현을 꿈꾸며 성사되는 이번 행사는 매우 의미가 깊다고 생각되며 다시 한번 축하의 마음을 전합니다.
감사합니다. 영상 외에도 축전을
In addition to the
보내주셨습니다.
video
황희 국회의원.
congratulations, we have dignitaries who sent us congratulatory messages. National Assemblyman Hwang Hee, 신정훈, 권성동, 이명수, and Park Hyung-dong, Mayor of Dongducheon. Thank you very much. Please join me once more in giving a heartfelt round of applause to the global leaders who have delivered such inspiring congratulatory messages. Now it's time for the peace performance. The Cheongsim Global Azalea.
So the Cheongsim Global Azalea Choir will now sing two songs, Nella Fantasia and Euresmia. Please welcome them with a big hand.
너무나 아름다운 천상의 목소리였습니다. 다시 한번 천심 글로벌 아자일리아 중창단에게 큰 박수를 보내주시기 바랍니다.
Applause to Cheongsim Global Azalea Choir.
다음 식순에 앞서서 잠시 기념
So before we move on to the next agenda, we're gonna have the group photo sessions. So we'll now set up an arrangement. So if there are any vacant seats, please fill them up. I will say Heavenly Unified Korea, and you will shout victory, victory, victory. And I say Heavenly Unified World, and you say victory, victory, victory. So it's time to shout the slogan. Please give me a cue sign. Okay, I will say unified, Heavenly Unified Korea, victory, victory, victory. Heavenly Unified World, victory, victory, victory. Love you. Thank you. Waving your hands, waving your hands. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation. Now, let's move on to the first keynote speech of the ILC 2024 under the theme of religious harmony and peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. The first presenter is Archbishop Johannes Andanga, who served as the president of Apostle Christian Association Africa. He will talk about the importance of religious leaders promoting the religious harmony. Please welcome him with a big hand.
Thank you. Our beloved true mother, Dr. Hak Jahan, Dr. Ki-Hoon Kim, chairman of WCLC, distinguished and respected clergymen and clergywomen, ladies and gentlemen, it is truly a great honor and privilege for me to be here with you. I am deeply grateful to the Mother of Peace and only begotten daughter for this opportunity to address you on the topic, the importance of religious leaders in fostering interfaith harmony. Our world today is challenged at all levels, and there is currently a threat of a World War III based on what is happening in the Middle East. Externally, this seems to be just a political issue about two people who seem not to agree on the terms of a peaceful cohabitation. However, internally and underneath, it is in fact the result of interreligious conflicts. It is really unfortunate that the Holy Land, which is supposed to be a haven of peace as the seat of the three Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, is today the epicenter of interfaith disputes and strife. How come that the religions that all profess peace can find themselves in the middle of endless conflicts? Where are the religious leaders? What leadership is being demonstrated through these conflicts? It is about time, following through the new Middle East Peace Initiative project, that we sensitize the religious leaders from across the globe. Faith leaders need to understand their responsibility to guide their flocks to genuinely be at peace with their neighbors by practicing the core teachings of their faith. As far as I know, God is not sectarian. He is not restricted by the minor details of doctrine. We should quickly liberate ourselves from theological conflict which results from blind attachment to doctrines and rituals, and instead focus on living relationships with God. As Father Moon put it, in my view, we urgently need to purify the religious atmosphere into one in which believers can have living faith and every soul can communicate with God. In God's parental heart and his great love, there is no discrimination based on color or nationality. There are no barriers between cultural traditions, between East and West, North and South. Today, God is trying to embrace the whole of humankind as his children. Through interreligious dialogue and harmony, we should realize one ideal world of peace, which is God's purpose of creation and the common hope of humankind. There is an incident in the Bible where the disciples went to preach in a particular town. They met someone who was also casting out demons in the name of Jesus, and they said to Jesus that they forbade him because he does not follow with us. Jesus said to them, "Do not forbid him, for he that is not against you is for you." In Luke chapter 9, verse 49, he even said, "I have other sheep that are not part of this flock." Many times, due to our self-righteousness, we are ready to dismiss and condemn other people. We need to be open-minded and let the Spirit of the Lord work in our lives. God cares for all his children. The parable of the lost sheep and that of the prodigal son are clear illustrations of this. Christ came for everyone, Jews and the Gentiles. John 3 verse 16 says, "God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life." Through interreligious dialogue and exchange of viewpoints among the world's religions and faith-based organizations, terrorism, violent extremism, and the world's ills can be proactively addressed. Spiritual and religious leaders are well situated to deal with community-based concerns and can play a significant role in reconciliation and building a culture of peace. Due to their moral authority and emphasis on human rights based on the principle that we are one family created by one God, spiritual and religious leaders can help rebuild divided societies and assist in humanitarian services for the alleviation of hunger, disease, and trauma due to violence and war. Just as spiritual and religious leaders play an important role in the important stages of human life, such as birth, marriage, death, and other important life events, it is natural that spiritual leaders assist, advise, and enlighten political leaders at the level of their nations and international institutions. This will enable the political leaders representing their nations to have a holistic approach to world issues and also to have more appropriate and sustainable solutions in the conduct of local and world affairs. Religious leaders can provide a unique set of valuable resources for achieving a just and peaceful world. More and more, the world and its political leaders are facing difficulties of all kinds, from natural disasters and pandemics such as HIV, AIDS, COVID-19, to man-made problems such as wars and conflicts between nations and within nations. Environmental problems, underdevelopment, and injustice pose real difficulties and cast doubt on the future of humanity. The convictions that were once well established are now being questioned. The plethora of experts and advisors in the institutions are struggling to solve the most serious problems the world is facing only from a secular perspective. I would like to take this opportunity to commend True Mother for directing IAPD Africa and the WCLC, ECLC, KCLC. Thanks to True Mother's guidance, since February last year, we've been organizing Africa Spiritual Days in Africa. This is galvanizing spiritual and religious leaders to think and work outside the box. The main purposes of the Africa Spiritual Day are create unity among spiritual and religious leaders within IAPD, that is working and praying together, the Muslims and the Christians and the Shintoists, everybody. We come together. At the present moment, we are doing it virtually, but we seek to really come together. There is no need to fear each other, because if you are afraid of a Muslim and when you are a Christian, it means the God that we serve as a Christian is a God that is not powerful. If a Muslim fears to fellowship with the Christians, it means their God is a weak God, so there is no need to worship such gods who make you fear other. So, we unite believers together in understanding that we are one big family under one God, despite our different faith traditions. To promote spirituality and universally shared values, to promote character building for the youth and true family values for adults, support the objectives and flagship projects of the African Union for sustainable peace, and eventually for IAPD Africa to become an advisory body to the African Union, to create an impact and momentum in the continent for a heavily unified Africa. At a time when humanity is at a critical juncture marked by doubt and anxiety all over the world, the Africa Spiritual Day offers hope for Africa and the world and ambitions to pioneer a new approach of global governance. So far, thanks to Dr. Hadeve's leadership and the support of Reverend Bakari Kamara and other leaders, especially those who signed the resolution here in August 2022, we've organized 4 Africa Spiritual Days, with the last one being a substantial and historical breakthrough. It was organized in a mosque, hosted on October 13, 2023, at the Fatima Zahra Mosque in Grand Bassam by Sheikh Imam Musa Drem, the chairman of IAPD Côte d'Ivoire. The theme was Ubuntu, Interfaith Cooperation and Solidarity. Ubuntu means humanity. This was timely, as the event took place less than a week after the beginning of the Hamas-Israel war, which has the potential to escalate interreligious tension in the Middle East and around the world. A total of about 20 million participants, as it was broadcast on national TV, 1,000 on-site and the rest on Zoom and live-streamed on YouTube and Facebook. We are currently preparing for a special Africa Spiritual Day at the African Union on May 22, 2024. The planned theme will be educating the African person to be spiritually fit in the 21st century. This will be our first event jointly organized. As you may be aware, IAPD Africa signed a memorandum of understanding with the African Union on April 4, 2024. We are currently having a signed membership drive and registration campaign to create a good foundation for IAPD Africa. Now I just want to touch a few things on the collaboration with the WCLC. We look forward to working with the WCLC to further cement this partnership. IAPD Africa and WCLC collaboration will be good for both parties. We are gathered here under the auspices of the World Christian Leadership Conference. I am particularly grateful to the World Christian Leadership Conference, which for some years now we have been laying the foundation for a new endeavor. We are called to move beyond the national level or even the continental level to the world level. As a representative from Africa, I pledge my full support to this divine endeavor. As the saying goes, united we stand, divided we fall. To tackle the problems of this world, it is about time clergymen and women stand together. And in conclusion, the purpose of religion is to lead us to a united world. Although different religions have different names for God and different ways of worshiping Him, the central being each religion worships is the one and only God. Therefore, the purposes and directions for human life taught by each religion inevitably converge towards one standard. Ultimately, each religion must manage its own path in order that all religions may enter the era of reformation at the same time. Extremism and intolerance should not prevail. God's purpose is and always has been to save the entire world, and not merely a certain race or a certain nation or a certain religious group. As a religious people, we cannot help God in the task of salvation as long as we fight among ourselves. Many religious leaders have realized this, but for numerous complex reasons, their attempts to solve this problem have been repeatedly frustrated. We need to recognize that interreligious harmony is a necessary condition for world peace. Let us work together with our beloved True Mother to make sure no more blood is shed in the name of religion, no more crime is committed in the name of religion. We can put an end to violence, poverty, immorality, and family breakdown. United, we can create a world of lasting peace for all humanity. Thank you. Thank you very much.
귀한 연설을 해주신 은당가 대주교에게 다시 한번 힘찬 박수를 보내주시기 바랍니다.
Applause once again in gratitude for his valuable speech. Move on to the second key speaker, Ekna Daka, a member of the National Assembly of Nepal. He's a member of UPF and World Association of Parliamentarians for Peace in the Asia Pacific. His talk, he used to be the Minister of the Peace Reconstruction. He will talk about prospect of Asia Pacific Union, APU, and peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. Please welcome him to the podium with a warm round of warm applause.
Your Excellencies, fellow panelists, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. So it's my great pleasure and honor to speak to you today about the prospect of Asia-Pacific Union and the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. The Asia-Pacific region is home to 60% world's population, some 4.3 billion people. That includes the world's most populous countries, India and China. The region also contains some of the smallest populace on earth, especially among the small island developing states in Pacific. The region has vast potential and enormous challenges. The Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ISCAP, is the inclusive intergovernmental platform in Asia-Pacific region. The Commission promotes cooperation among its 53 member states and 9 associate members in pursuit of solutions to sustainable development and challenges. ISCAP is one of the 5 regional commissions of the United Nations. So these are the countries, 53 countries of ISCAP in the Asia-Pacific region. Over the 12 regional organizations such as Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, ASEAN, SAARC, and Belt and Road Initiative are among over 12 organizations that are working in the Asia-Pacific region. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, includes 5 countries, actually including Canada, Chile, Mexico, Peru, and United States in the New World. The term has become popular since the late 1980s in commerce, finance, and politics. So ISCAP is one of the 5 regional commissions, as I mentioned earlier, and also the Universal Peace Federation has been working together with ISCAP, and we have a number of conferences that was organized at the ISCAP building in Bangkok, Thailand. So today we see conflict in various aspects of life, including politics, society, the economy, culture, and religion, eroding humanity and its core values. The global development challenges facing our world, such as climate change, water security, terrorism, inequality, poverty, and only be resolved by our joint efforts. The issues are caused by the complexity of regions, but among these is individualism, greed, and the quest for individual growth, while others are left behind. The issues around the Asia-Pacific region, such as the complication of the Taiwan Strait, the nuclear threat in Korean Peninsula, the role of middle powers such as India and Japan, geopolitical competition in Southeast Asia, and extending to the Mekong sub-region and ASEAN challenges remain as a critical factor. The Universal Peace Federation, UPF, has a great respect and support to all intergovernmental institutions created in the regional and world level. However, we have also recognized that intergovernmental institutions have their own limitations and are facing many challenges to fulfill their founding ideals. The UPF co-founder, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, has revealed that a broader and inclusive regional mechanism is needed in the Asia-Pacific region to utilize its full potential to prepare for the ASEAN century. Dr. Moon suggested that the member states of the Asia-Pacific region establish an Asia-Pacific Union, same as European Union and African Union, and let the civil society and faith-based organization be a part of it. The proposed Asia-Pacific Union will be a broad-based, independent, non-political body that draws together like-minded individuals and organizations, NGO and faith-based organizations from among the community of Asia-Pacific nations. APU can be a venue to share best practices, encourage economic growth, promote tourism, and impart to nations and religions a renewed hope for unified world of peace. A union of Asia-Pacific nations, the APU, can help to prepare this region to lead the 21st century. Mother Moon first revealed her idea about the Asia-Pacific Union in Nagoya, Japan in October 2019. Then Prime Minister of Cambodia, His Excellency Samdech Hun Sen, supported this idea and commissioned a group of Asian scholars and think tank experts under the Asian Vision Institute to draft an universal peace charter as a structural framework for Asia-Pacific Union. Prime Minister Hun Sen of Cambodia is the first head of the government responded Mother Moon's call for Asia-Pacific Union. And Mother Moon has a number of meetings in Cambodia and also in Korea with Prime Minister Hun Sen, and together they have discussed for the further development of the Asia-Pacific Union. The initiative was subsequently endorsed also by the former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in the Rally of Hope on August 9, 2020, in front of a worldwide audience of millions. During the ILC deliberations, this idea was referred by many speakers and recognized in the ILC 2020 resolution. This is the resolution signed about the formation of Asia-Pacific Union. The Asia-Pacific civilization is more spiritual and artistic. It is less individualistic. The Asia-Pacific Union will be formed based on these Asian cultural values of filial piety, which our Mother Moon is teaching us, family and faith. This way, we ensure collectivist type growth and development aligned with our values and need. There is a need to establishing a major UN office complex in DMZ. It also aligned with Asia Pacific Union initiative. This future 5th UN office was foreseen as a hub for peace research, preventive diplomacy, disarmament, and interreligious cooperation. Currently, there are 4 main UN offices in the world: New York, Geneva, Nairobi, and Vienna, but there is no such office in Asia. So that's why UPF is supporting that to establish such office in Korea will be a great idea for peaceful reunification of Korea and also bringing peace in the world. Resolving a global and regional issues needed diverse and unified approaches worldwide. The proposed Asia-Pacific Union could be a further unified agency among the regional organizations as well as member states, big or small, developed or underdeveloped. APU could be an effective mechanism to address regional challenges, including Korean Peninsula and also Middle East issues. The Asian way of resolving conflict, that is, through the promotion of understanding and peaceful dialogue, could be a culture of Asia-Pacific Union. Mother Moon's proposal of formation of an Asia-Pacific Union offering hope to build harmony and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region. 2024 General Assembly of the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace will be held in Cambodia, and UPF is invited as one of the co-organizers. And UPF will actively participate and promote the Asia-Pacific Union initiative among the parliamentarians of the world. Various nations in the Asia-Pacific region have shown their keen interest and extending their support to the Asia-Pacific Union initiative. The Kingdom of Cambodia's new Prime Minister, Hun Manit, has expressed his solidarity to APU during the recent meeting with UPF Chairman Dr. Charles Yang in Phnom Penh. The meeting was actually very cordial, and the Prime Minister received Dr. Yang as a representative of True Mother, and they have discussed over 1 hour about the future of Asia Pacific and also peace in the world. And he assured that all the activities that Prime Minister Hun Sen began with Mother Moon, that as a new Prime Minister, so his administration will continue. So the meeting was planned for only 30 minutes, but actually it went over 1 hour in the Prime Minister's office in Phnom Penh. And this is I took this video from the media report. Similarly, the Asia-Pacific Union initiative is also supported by both government and parliament of Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Dinesh Gunawardena, assured Mother Moon through Chairman Dr. Yang that Sri Lanka will happily join and support this initiative. So this is the meeting in the Prime Minister's office in Sri Lanka. One of the major economies in ASEAN, the Kingdom of Thailand, Defense Minister Anadara Suthin Kulangsang welcomed this initiative and took forward to exchanges more ideas for its further development. Dr. Yang also had the meeting recently in the Ministry of Defense in Thailand. UPF Chair Dr. Charles Yang, on one of the recent visits to Cambodia, paid courtesy call to the former Prime Minister Hun Sen, who is now the President of Senate. Dr. Yang holds serious discussion with Hun Sen on exploring all possible ways to reaching out North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for addressing Korean Peninsula issues. 30-minute planned meeting went over 1 hour, but it was very, very productive because Prime Minister Hun Sen, after he stepped down from his premiership, he actually became the President of Senate recently, and in Cambodian protocol, President of Senate is the acting head of the state. When the Majesty, the King, is not in the country, the Senate President will act as the head of the state. APU is not only supported by political leaders, but also the religious leaders. The Grand Imam of Istiqlal Mosque in Indonesia, Professor Dr. K.S. Nasaruddin Omar has welcomed the UPF Interfaith Conference inside his mosque and supported the Asia Pacific Union. The prominent Hindu leader from India, His Holiness Kalidas Baba, also known as the advisor of the Prime Minister Modi, and the Buddhist leaders from Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, and Cambodia are also fully supporting this idea. In addition, leaders of Pacific Christian Leadership Conference, who also present here, with American Clergy Leadership Conference and World Clergy Leadership Conference, they are together, also supporting this idea as well. Since the success of APU will be assured by the most diverse and largest network of peace builders, the Ambassador for Peace of UPF, who may serve as advisor of Asia Pacific Union. As one of the members of the Federal Parliament of Nepal, I had also introduced Asia Pacific Union concept to the Nepalese Parliament recently. UPF associations such as IAPP and IAPD are well suited to play an effective role for the further development of APU. Actually, our father and mother moon through UPF has been built already the foundation to establish Asia Pacific Union. So this is my speech in the Parliament just last week, where I introduced True Mother's concept about the Asia Pacific Union in Nepal. As we ponder these issues, let us not be daunted by the scales of challenges, but be inspired by the opportunity pathways forward. The journey towards sustainable peace and development is not the responsibility of a single actor, nation, or institution. It is a collective endeavor that requires perseverance, collaboration, and unwavering commitment to humanity. Together, let us recommit to these ideals, ensuring that the Asia-Pacific region not only navigates through these challenges, but also thrives. Let this dialogue today spark new initiative and strengthen our resolve to pursue a peaceful, prosperous Asia-Pacific and peace in the Korean Peninsula. The Asia-Pacific will contribute to realize heavenly unified Korea and peaceful world centering on the ideals of interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values. I truly believe that the Asia-Pacific Union, APU, will make a remarkable contribution in advancing sustainable, inclusive, and resilient Asia-Pacific with new level of regional and international cooperation. I thank you very much for your participation. Namaste.
감사합니다. 한반도 정세와 연관된 중요한 내용을 전해주신 에크나 다칼.
Let's give our speaker another round of big applause for giving us an inspiring speech. Now it's time for the final keynote speech. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Hwang Sanjo, the chairman of the National Coalition for the Unification of North and South Korea. He's going to speak about the vision and strategy for sustainable world peace. Please welcome Chairman Hwang Sanjo with a warm round of applause. Distinguished guests, the theme of my keynote speech is Vision and Strategy for Sustainable World Peace. This theme implies three questions. First, is sustainable world peace possible? The second, what should be the achievable vision? The third is, what are the strategies that can produce concrete results? For the first topic, is sustainable world peace really possible? Will Duran, a historian who represents the 20th century, pointed out in his book, The Lessons of History, that out of 3,421 years recorded in world history, only 268 years, or 7.8%, were without war. Futurist Alvin Toffler estimated that from 1945 to 1990, out of 2,340 weeks, there were only 3 weeks during which there was no war in the global village. From this perspective, it would not be an exaggeration to say that human history is indeed a history of conflict and war, and the earth is a tomb of suffering and tragedy. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato analyzed an ideal society and expounded his ideas in the Republic. He argued that the vision for an ideal society lies in the just governance by leaders' intellectual and ethical virtues, emphasizing the harmony between philosophical ideas and the reality of society. However, ideas and reality have not yet been merged. 300 years ago, Immanuel Kant advocated for the perpetual peace. He emphasized the importance of creating laws and institutions. Politics is a moral realm where choices and ideas converge, and Kant viewed international peace as achievable through reason based on morality, implemented via international organizations, international law, and norms. Kant's theory of perpetual peace culminated in the establishment of the United Nations in 1945 to foster global peace. However, the world still groans under the weight of war and conflict. When asked about the possibility of sustainable peace, ChatGPT responded like this: the achievement of sustainable world peace depends on various factors. Scholars, politicians, and peace activists hold varying perspectives on this topic, which are influenced not only by economic, political, social, and environmental conditions, but also by human nature and the complexity of international relations. The world peace hinges on differences in points, the reality and human character and international relations. The outlook for lasting peace presents a cautiously measured response, neither unequivocally affirming nor outright rejecting its feasibility. Let me ask you again, is sustainable peace for humanity possible? Efforts toward peace for humanity have fundamentally unfolded both internally and externally. Internally, spiritual culture has been cultivated around religion, academia, and the arts, while externally, technological advancements have been pursued with science at the forefront to enhance material civilization. Religion and science are pursued both internally and externally in the quest to realize the ultimate happiness and ideals of humanity, and they continue to strive towards the liberation of humanity, the improvement of quality of a happy life, and the realization of peaceful community. Are the dreams of humanity still relevant? I firmly believe they are. If we look for answers within human history, the outlook might seem grim based on past events. However, if we turn to our Creator for guidance, I believe there is substantial hope. I believe that the work of salvation will continue both now and in the future because God orchestrates His providence to fulfill the ideal of creation. Therefore, I view the prospect of enduring peace for humanity as attainable within the Creator, our God. How should we establish a feasible vision, which is the second topic? The vision for a sustainable peace in the world is the realization of a global citizen interdependence, co-sharing, and happiness community. In a world of peace, the individual and the whole are indivisible. The recent COVID-19 pandemic has verified that our current social structure embodies the characteristics of a global community. According to theism, the existential attributes of any entity consists of individuality and totality. Each individual possesses its own unique dignity as an individual truth body, and inherently holds relationality as an interconnected existence with others. Thus, humans naturally possess both the individuality of being unique under heaven and the totality of being a member of the community as a social being. These two attributes represent the dual aspects of an individual. The harmony between them indicates the level of individual's completion and shows the maturity of their character. The idea of creation is that God and humans and other humans, and humans and nature are interwoven in a relative relationality, coexisting and co-living together. The ultimate purpose of human life is happiness. The end goal of all humans' actions is happiness. Therefore, humans dream of peace as a pursuit of happiness for all, aiming towards a community of human happiness. The method for realizing this involves embracing a co-living consciousness that desires to live together and a consciousness that shares necessary conditions among all. An essential prerequisite here is that the individuality centered around personal freedom and human rights must coexist with the totality, harmonizing on the same level and holding equal value. The smallest unit of the combination of individual and whole is the family community. The extension of the family is equivalent to the global community. Therefore, all of humanity belongs to the world citizenship. In other words, the mode of a coexisting community based on true love is the family community. If you expand this model, the vision of humanity as one large family community with God as the parent becomes a reality, transforming into a peaceful and happy community for all humanity. For the third topic, what are the strategies that can produce concrete results? I propose 5 strategies. Strategy 1 is theism is the answer. The foundation for creating a community of peace and happiness for humanity lies in establishing a set of values that reflect the spirit of the age, necessitating a consciousness, interdependence, and co-sharing among individuals and groups. Theism, I believe, is the answer. Theism is an ideological system elucidated by Reverend Sanjo Moon and Hakja Han Moon. It relies entirely on revelations from God and enlightenment. Theism is referred to as dual-aspect thought because it leads and encompasses both the left and the right. It is also called interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal value ideology because it pursues an economy of interdependence and politics of mutual prosperity and a society of universal values. According to theism, all created beings, both humans and nature, crafted by God, share the attributes and existential forms of the Creator, embodying a homogeneity. The relationship between an individual and others is a relative one of subject and object, unified through true love. In humans, the mind, spirit, the body, the material form a relative relationship centered around the purpose, becoming unified to constitute a single personality. Such humans, as social beings, then establish an inseparable relational connection with others and form a community through God's true love. Similarly, humans and nature also share a reciprocal relationship and through give and take create a homogeneous community of coexistence. The values of interdependence and coexist in the 21st century, which includes sustainability, inclusiveness, fairness, and social relevance, all depend on theism for their establishment. When these become mainstream as a spiritual culture, we can actualize the global citizen happiness community. Strategy 2. Sustainable peace with nature must be ensured. Climate and ecosystem crisis, along with ecosystem emergencies, are existential challenges for modern society that must be addressed to ensure peaceful coexistence. The phenomenon of climate change has already reached a critical stage, and some futurists doubt whether humanity can survive into the 22nd century. At the 2024 Davos Forum, climate change was considered one of the major threats to humanity, alongside artificial intelligence and social polarization. Simon Steele, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, warned that humanity has only 2 years left to save the world by responding to climate change. Climate change, environmental pollution, and changes in ecosystems are global issues that transcend national borders and are directly linked to the survival of the global population. Therefore, the crisis of sustainability due to environmental destruction presents a significant challenge in realizing a global citizens' happiness community. Naturally, the measures to address this challenge must be jointly formulated by global citizens, transcending national boundaries. It is essential to establish and spread values based on theism, along with fostering a sense of responsibility and action among global citizens. There is a critical demand for peace movements led not only by international organizations centered around the UN, but also by the private sector. This means that the peace movements must be accelerated through global governance based on the network of global NGOs. Strategy number 3. In the age of artificial intelligence, humans and machines must establish a coexisting and cohabiting partnership. The ultimate goal of science is to enhance the quality of human life and happiness, as all human actions are ultimately geared towards this end. Since the 18th century, the Industrial Revolution has brought about rapid social changes, opening up new worlds at a faster pace. And especially the Fourth Industrial Revolution has made the future even more unpredictable. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest physicists of the 20th century, predicted that within this century, humans would be able to manipulate all instincts, including the intelligence and aggression. He warned that superhumans created through genetic manipulation could dominate humanity and expressed this concern up until his death. The outcomes of genetic engineering and the urgent need for ethical standards in science and technology are becoming increasingly crucial. At the 2024 Davos Forum, Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, stated that over the next 2 years, the greatest risk to global business is not war or climate crisis, but misinformation and social polarization caused by AI. Ironically, while she points out these risks, she also states that the competitiveness of the future depends on the integration of AI into everyday business operations. As much as the advancement of technology is critical, the establishment of values is equally urgent. We must find meaning in our historical experiences. Humanity has already been advancing both spiritual, cultural, and material civilization in pursuit of the ultimate dreams, with religion and science contributing significantly at the core. These two fields have historically pursued the same objectives from seemingly opposite perspectives and directions, internally and externally. However, it is now crucial to explore paths of cooperation and mutual supplementation. Reverend Sanjo Moon previously emphasized in his Divine Principle lectures that for the completion of the individual character and world peace, religion and science must be united. As human intelligence spreads to machines and objects, we must forge a path of coexistence and cooperation with them. In an era where thinking machines increasingly dominate our living conditions, where should human thought be positioned? We are now in an era of profound reflection. Strategy number 4, a heavenly unified Korea through North-South unification represents hope for world peace. The Korean Peninsula, where North and South Korea are in extreme confrontation, exemplifies a clash of ideologies. Economically between capitalism and communism, politically between liberal democracy and people's democracy, and philosophically between idealism and materialism. The global village requires a mode of peace. While North and South Korea authorities have long focused on the procedures and methods of unification, it's now time to discuss the vision for the nation post-unification. Hak Ja-han-moon, co-founder of the Universal Peace Federation, advocates that the Korean people, inheriting the tradition of profound love and respect, should establish a heavenly unified Korea centered around God. This vision for unified Korea is proposed as a catalyst for world peace. The concept of the heavenly unified Korea represents a hope for a peaceful world, asserting that true peace can be achieved through a unified national identity that embraces shared values and divine guidance. Just as various religious leaders led the call for independence during the March 1st movement over 100 years ago, religious figures today must take the lead in a second independence movement, this time for unification. Hakja Han-moon, co-founder of the Universal Peace Federation, aims to concentrate all global peace efforts on the Korean Peninsula to usher in a new era of unification. There is an ongoing movement centered around the UPF and the National Coalition for South Unification, advocating for the establishment of 5th UN office in the Korean demilitarized zone. The Peace Road initiative, aimed at connecting the world as one, has been conducted annually since 2013. There is strong expectation that this movement will soon bear significant fruit, symbolizing a global commitment to unity and peace. Strategy number 5, global NGOs must create a global governance system to establish a community of human peace and happiness. Global governance emerged as a concept in the 1990s following the end of the Cold War, highlighting the limitations of a state-centric approach to international relations in addressing global issues. This cooperative approach involves governments, NGOs, and other stakeholders working together to address global issues. Former UN Secretary General Boutros Ghali has argued that global governance is the only viable alternative capable of addressing planetary problems in areas such as globalization, environment, human rights, and culture, and in economics. In this context, on August 18, 2000, at the UN headquarters in New York, Reverend Sun Myung-moon and Dr. Hakja Han-moon proposed during the World Peace Interreligious International Federation for World Peace that the UN should evolve to operate with a bicameral system, an upper house centered around the religious leaders and a lower house comprised of representatives from nations worldwide. He declared that achieving world peace is impossible with the current UN structure, which primarily represents the interests of individual nations. He proposed that the UN be reformed to include an upper house dominated by inter-religious leaders. Additionally, on September 23, 2007, in New York, USA, the Abel UN Inaugural Assembly was held with the participation of over 1,200 representatives, including current and former heads of state and religious leaders, in an effort to build global governance. This initiative aimed to transcend the collective selfishness of nations and ethnicities and pave the way for peace through a new bicameral UN system inspired by a global citizenry spirit. Respectable peace-loving world leaders, I pose 3 critical questions to everyone. Firstly, is sustainable world peace possible? I believe it is, provided we rely not on human power alone, but on the Creator, God. For the second question, I asked what the vision for sustainable peace should be. I proposed it as the realization of a global citizenry community founded on interdependence, co-sharing, and mutual happiness. For the final question regarding the strategies that can produce concrete outcomes, I presented 5 key strategies summarized by keywords. They are theism as a value system, sustainable coexistence with nature. Third, partnership between AI and humans. Fourth, construction of a heavenly unified Korea through North-South unification. Fifth, global governance. Peace begins with me, myself, from centering true love and unifying my body and mind to ultimately achieving harmony between the spiritual and physical realms. We should all hope for everyone's happiness. In the 21st century, I wish for the vision of a global community of interdependence and shared happiness to become a reality as people practice peace movements based on God's principles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate. he talked about the core of this sustainable peace on the peninsula and the world. I'd like to also extend my warmest thanks to all three speakers. Now, could you all stand up and let's sing together the Song of Unification. And important guests will be now escorted up to the stage. Cheongsim Global Azalea Choir, who sang the beautiful two songs in the previous peace performance, will now come on the stage and sing a song of unification.
감사합니다. 단상의 지도자들 그대로 자리를 지켜주시기 바랍니다. 오늘 이 시간 종교 화합과 한반도 평화 통일을 위한 우리의 결의와 실천의 의지가 모이는 시간이었다고
Nation for
생각합니다.
religious harmony and peaceable unification of the Korean Peninsula were gathered together. We would like to appreciate if you give a round of applause to Cheongsim Global Azalea Choir. And with that note, we will wrap up the opening ceremony of ILC. Please give us a big round of applause.
안내 말씀을 잠시